Welcome, creeps. You're listening to the Umbra Tapes, where we dive into unsolved mysteries, disturbing cases, and the downright weird. I'm Gabby.
And I'm Leah. Thanks for creeping in.
It's strange how every small town has a road people whisper about, a road teenagers dare each other to drive down at 2 in the morning, a road where headlights suddenly feel too dim, and the trees seem too close, where every shadow looks like it's moving. In my hometown, that is Holland Road, better known as Pigman Road. And depending on who you ask, the legend started with a monster hiding in the woods. But legends don't just appear out of nowhere. Sometimes they're built from tragedy. Sometimes they're built from generations of blame, fear, cruelty, and grief. This is part 2 of our local lore, and it's a little different because it is extremely close to home. In fact, it is the town that we are from. Today we're talking about the Angola Horror and Pigman Road, as previously mentioned. My family dates back super long to being in Angola. I've moved away for a short period of time and then returned when I was about 9 years old, and I've been here ever since.
Yeah, my mom grew up here. She was born in Silver Creek, actually, where I live.
That's wild.
Yeah. She was born in a little house when it was a hospital up the road. My grandparents are from here. My great-grandparents are from here. But in the Silver Creek area, then they moved to Angola shortly thereafter. Purchased the theater in Angola and the village of Angola, and they were there until they passed away a couple of years ago, 10 years ago now maybe. But yeah, I mean, we've all heard about the Angola Horror, so our family knows all about it, all the generations. This isn't anything new. So
It's wild to think that not only were you from Angola and your parents were from Angola, but your grandparents are also from Silver Creek, and you decided to move to Silver Creek. It's like a legacy happening over and over again.
Yep.
My mom grew up on Lake Street, like 2 houses down from the roller rink. And
Okay.
funny enough, that's actually like a local haunted like house now, and it's like season up. Yeah, it's Everhunt.
Yeah, Everhall is awesome. They are so good.
Only been in there for like a daytime walkthrough or whatever because we went with my son and we were scared he would be too spooked. So roughly 20 miles south of Buffalo, New York, you'll find a tiny town called Angola. And when I say tiny, I mean really tiny. We're talking a population just shy of 2,500. It's one of those places where everybody knows everyone, where family names stick around for generations, and where stories never really die, especially this one. We're talking about Pigman Road and the family at the center of the curse that locals still whisper about almost 160 years later, and the horrifying train disaster known as the Angola Horror. The history of Angola starts back in 1852 when a railroad line was built right through a small Quaker settlement. Before it was Angola, it was simply known as Evans Station, named after the Evans family who owned the land where the community would eventually form. Even today, the surrounding area is still called the town of Evans. A few years later, in 1855, the federal government established a post office there, and the settlement officially became Angola. The name actually came from the Quakers living there who were heavily involved in missionary work in Angola, Africa.
That's kind of, when you said that they named it after, not after Angola, Africa, but essentially because that's what it was,
Yeah, I was having a really hard time figuring out what they meant by naming it after Africa, but then I thought about it and I'm like, so they did a lot of missionary work.
Yes.
But still, why name it Angola? Apparently there was a fight to not name it Angola because it was so strange to people.
Yeah, okay. It's not anymore, but I could see it. But if it's, I don't know if that's like an African word, but it's from Africa. So it was a very strange concept, I'm sure, at the time. So,
Sure.
yes. Well, nowadays, we're like, oh, yeah, cool, Africa, but it's just.
So this group of white Quaker name our small, tiny rural village after Africa. For such a small town, Angola has a weird amount of history attached to it. One of the biggest claims to fame was a man named Willis Carrier. Born in Angola 1876, he invented the modern electrical air conditioning unit, fundamentally changing how the world builds cities, manufactures goods, and lives day to day. Modern life as we know it was reshaped by a guy born in this tiny railroad town. Did you know that?
No.
So I knew he was like from Buffalo, and later in his life he did move to Buffalo, but he was born here in Angola.
Wow. Okay.
But Angola's other claim to fame came from something much darker. A disaster so horrific, the newspapers across the country called it one of the worst railway catastrophes in American history, the Angola Horror. December 18, 1867, a New York Express train departed from Cleveland, Ohio, heading east towards Buffalo. Around 200 passengers were on board. The train was moving at roughly 35 miles per hour when disaster struck. One of the wheels on the rear passenger car hit a defective section of the track called a frog. A frog is basically a crossing point that allows rail lines to intersect. It's like those tie pieces that, like, if you want the train to go this way,
Yeah.
you go that way. That they call it a frog. Really weird name, but
I didn't know that. Yeah, like, and it buckles up next to each other, and
it's like this, like Y or V. That impact caused the rear axle to jump the tracks, and within seconds, the last two wooden passenger cars derailed violently from the rest of the train. One of them tipped completely off the bridge over the Big Sister Creek. It plunged 50 feet down into the frozen ravine below, and somehow, that still was not the worst part. Back then, passenger coaches were heated using wood-burning stoves and lit using kerosene lamps. So when the car slammed into the ravine at an angle, the passengers were thrown together into one side of the coach. The stove overturned, burning coal spilled directly onto the trapped passengers. Then the kerosene lamp shattered, fuel spread everywhere, and suddenly, the entire train car became an inferno. Villagers nearby rushed towards the wreckage. They brought axes, buckets of water, anything they could find. People tried chopping into the sides of the car to rescue the survivors, but the flames were just too intense. There was nothing they could do. Rescuers stood by hearing the agonizing screams from inside the burning coaches.
I didn't know. I mean, that is just asking for something to happen with the kerosene and the coal burning. Oh my gosh, there's no way they could have put that out.
No.
And even nowadays.
I think nowadays they might have had a fighting chance.
Yeah, I had a fighting chance, but that's such a quick.
Literally carrying buckets of water, like and you got to think about it. The creek was frozen at the time.
Yeah.
And that water's so shallow, I'm sure it was frozen solid. Like they couldn't even dig through it to get water to put out the flames.
So the froggy didn't connect all the way, and it derailed basically, and then just tipped.
We're gonna go into exactly why it's believed that this train car derailed.
Oh, okay. All right.
A little more information on the frogs itself, but it's crazy to think that this happened in this location, because now where this accident happened, there's this adorable little playground, and the playground is shaped like a train.
Oh,
is that disturbing or is that weird?
I never put two and two together, but
That
and
over there.
I must admit, I obviously know about the Angola Horror, but I didn't know where exactly it happened. So it happened right by the playground.
Mm-hmm. Over Mill Street and where it goes over Mill Street and where the playground is, that's not the exact spot. It's actually technically behind that where that single lane bridge is.
Okay.
It's over a trestle. So it's
it fell kind of off the trestle there?
Yes.
Okay.
Terrifying.
Is it a far drop?
I would imagine so from that height. Not only that, but they were traveling at speed. The other trains made it across the bridge. And the last train car, that was the only one who tumbled off.
It detached?
Yes.
Okay. So the rest of the passengers were okay.
Yes, but it started to pull the other train cars down. But since the other train cars were past the bridge, it only took them into the trees and land. It didn't go off into the ravine.
Okay. Okay.
Terrifying story. Extremely sad to think of these people having to witness people literally burn alive.
Yeah, and there's nothing you can do. Like, what can you do? There's once kerosene has been in, just oh my goodness,
It's over. 50 people died that night. Most of them were burned so badly they couldn't even be identified. Then, investigators started asking questions into why this happened. Like most tragedies, it came down to negligence. To save money, railroad companies were using what was called compromise cars. These rail cars had custom wheel sets designated to operate across different railroad gauges between Ohio and New York. So we had different gauged wheels. So our train cars in New York State have a different size than they do in...
I imagine it'll probably be smaller because we get ice and stuff like that on a track.
I think you're right.
And that would make it easier to cut through it if that was happening.
So the fact that they used these compromise cars, which were supposed to be able to go between the two lines, what it did when they did this, it was to avoid transferring passengers from the train when heading out of Ohio to New York State. So they just kept everybody on the train and put them in these compromise cars, as opposed to getting off the train and getting on to New York State.
Yeah, okay.
It saved time and it saved money, but it also created dangerous instability. That negligence caused the lives of 50 people to be horrifically lost. We put way too much trust in these institutions.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, this happened in the 1800s, but...
They're just like, nah. They're like, nah, we're not even gonna use this. They're supposed to do.
They value life so little. And it's crazy because they themselves have lives. Like, don't you have a shred of empathy?
Guess not. I don't know. They really were just like, nah, we're not gonna switch them over.
No.
We'll save a couple of bucks.
Well, speaking of...
The old car because of it, the old train because of it.
And 50 lives.
50 yeah.
Forget the train, all right? These people die.
Well, if you're talking about what they care about,
Yeah.
it's losing their
They will train. You'll
honestly the people that were sacrificed of that, like, that's ridiculous.
Well, since we're talking about millionaires here, billionaires, people with money, the institution, the most bizarre detail connected with this disaster that I absolutely love, 28-year-old John D. Rockefeller was actually supposed to be on the train. He was running late in Cleveland. His luggage was already loaded onto the last passenger coach, the same coach that plunged into the ravine. But Rockefeller himself missed boarding by mere moments. He took a later train instead, and when that train reached Angola, it had stopped because the wreckage was still blocking the tracks. So Rockefeller stepped out and witnessed the aftermath himself. The burned wreckage, the bodies, and realizing he should have been there. He later sent a telegram to his wife saying, "Thank God I'm unharmed." One delayed departure and the richest man in modern history never exists. That would have changed literally everything in the world.
Yes. Dude, my mind is like, wow.
He's literally the Monopoly man himself.
Something was on his side. Something was on his side.
I don't know. Was it?
Something was on his side and not us. I don't know. Looking out for him anyway.
He's literally the founder of Standard Oil.
That's nuts. Like,
would our gas prices be $8.50 right now if John D. Rockefeller died?
I don't know. I can't believe that. I'm speechless. Like, that's crazy.
No, it would have literally, like, fundamentally changed the world that we live in if he had died on that train.
And just the fact that, like, mere moments, he was supposed to be on that train. The last train car, too. His luggage was on it.
Yeah, that's how they know that he would have been on that train, because he was running late. So his luggage got loaded in the last train car. He would have been on the last train car.
Insane.
Regardless of his stature at the time, he still would have been on the last train car because everybody else was already boarded. You know, what are they going to say? Move, John D. Rockefeller coming through? Now, this is where the story starts drifting away from documented fact and it turns into an actual legend. Enter the Derricks family. The family consisted of Elijah Derricks, his wife, and 2 of their sons, Henry and Loring. Elijah built a homestead on Holland Road, just outside the newly formed village of Angola. Their property sat only about a half a mile from the railroad bridge over Big Sister Creek. And according to folklore, on the day of the disaster, the Derricks boys were walking along the tracks collecting fallen coal from the passing trains. Apparently, this was something the local boys did pretty often back then. But the story claims the boys also found railroad ties and pieces of hardware near the train tracks. Thinking they could use them to repair the fence on their farm, they took them home. Later that same day, the Angola Horror occurred. Now, officially, the railroad blamed the accident on the faulty track equipment. But according to legend, the townspeople quietly blamed the Derricks family. Not publicly, not formally, but socially. In a tiny town, that's sometimes worse.
So wait, they blamed him for taking the ties out of there?
Yes, like local townspeople believe that that's what caused the train to derail.
So were they physically like hammering the ties out of there? Or were they like already gone? Sometimes they fly loose.
I was going to say, a lot of times they are loose. Like if you walk down a train track, you can find them just like wiggling out of the ground.
Those are the same people saying, which? That are blaming these people.
Exactly. This family became the town's pariah. And you will hear stories of a multitude of other things that this family was blamed for.
Wow.
Yes. So this information that I'm about to tell you about this Derricks family appears it's not based in fact. Most of what I'm about to tell you is actually sourced from a document from a man who is named but cannot be found. I've searched high and low trying to find this man, and I seriously cannot. His name is M.C. Hageman, and in this document, he states that it is a quasi-history compilation of information in Angola. Now, things in this document, there are a lot of facts, a lot of things that did actually occur. The Angola Horror being one of them. Other fires that happened within town. But this Derricks family, there's no fact to it. I have not been able to link. Okay, I've been able to link one factual piece of information, and I will tell you what that fact is once we get there. But this document is like what the myth of Pigman Road comes from.
Okay. Nice.
Okay.
Let's hear this.
It's going to be fun. After the train accident had occurred, most of the family eventually left town, all except one son, Loring Derricks. And from this point on, it almost feels like the town turned him into a scapegoat. Whenever something went wrong, people blamed Loring. Another train accident in 1918. Loring, a disastrous 4th of July accident in 1911 that injured locals and children. Loring again. It makes me really sad that if this is the case, why are they're what is wrong with people? There is literally no proof.
Like, just be making shit out and like think it's fact.
That's insane. It's definitely a testament to like how small town life is so interwoven that something like this can happen and one person says it happens and everybody believes it. It's high school. It's weird.
Like, nee boo boo, you derailed the train. Like, we're gonna shine you.
There is other reasons why the town did not enjoy this family, but we'll get into that. A lawsuit from the incident financially ruined him and forced him to sell off most of his family land. And eventually, all that remained was a small shack on Holland Road. That isolation, that resentment, started festering. And according to local legend, Loring passed that hatred onto his son, William Derricks. Loring stayed where he was and moved on to marry a woman named Betsy Crabtree. Betsy was already the town pariah due to her parents being first cousins.
Sorry, Betsy, that's messed up.
My point exactly. So there's reasons to look upon this family and be like, okay, y'all a little strange, but, you know, the son didn't do nothing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was already, was he, Betsy and Loring's son was
William Derricks.
William, okay.
I On April 17th, 1913, William Derricks was born with a severe facial deformity believed to be frontal dysplasia, adding fuel to the local superstition. People claimed that it was divine punishment for the family's supposed role in the Angola Horror, which honestly says more about the townspeople than it does about the family. This document is wild.
So was he born with this deformity because like of the incest thing?
That is kind of what I was thinking.
Probably.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
gotta think about it. Obviously, right?
Yeah. And
I don't.
curse.
I didn't look up like what causes this facial deformity, but you gotta look at the incest and be like, okay, that makes
going on here. Yeah. Goodness gracious.
You know, it's crazy though, because when William was born, he was born with a midwife, and this woman had died in another train accident that happened within Angola.
Dude.
Yeah. It said that, okay, Loring caused the accident because
the baby was born with a deformity or something?
No, it said that she was going to go forward and get the child removed, to get William removed from his parents because the parents were incest. He was born with this deformity. They thought he should be living in an institution, essentially.
Wow.
Yeah. And this woman died mysteriously in a train accident that happened in Angola. So
this might be a long shot, but do you think they were like dabbling in like the occult or something? Like if they were like, I mean, maybe they were. Maybe people weren't all that crazy. I don't know.
That would be wild. That would enter like a whole other aspect of this story. And maybe that would be why the legend is so enduring.
Yeah.
It's wild.
You never know.
It's wild.
So many possibilities.
I'm really trying to think about it now. Maybe.
What if they did dabble in the occult and he was just, because the train, whatever, train braves everywhere, trains everywhere, was what caused his strife and all of his misery from the second he was born.
Essentially, yeah.
And his family and all this stuff. Like maybe that's something that he like cursed in every way to heaven, to hell. It's not really, but
maybe it was Elijah's wife, because she's the only one who does not have a name in these stories. She's the only one who doesn't have a name.
Maybe she taught it to him.
Was she like a witch?
Elijah was out on the farm being good, doing stuff. And
she's what, conjuring up witchcraft?
Miss Jane Doe.
Jane Doe.
Was in there, conjuring up witchcraft, teaching her son, like, all right, honey, I'm not going to be here one day, so don't forget how to do this spell. Eye of Newt.
You wild.
A hair of the pig, of the hog. I don't know.
Let's get back to William. William himself grew up isolated, mocked, avoided, and hidden away. And eventually, in the 1940s, a traveling circus sideshow passed through town. A one-armed boxer named Theodore Miller allegedly saved William from being hit by another train. Theodore, noticing William's deformity, convinced him to join the show, promising money, travel, and loads of opportunities. For the next decade, William traveled the country as a sideshow attraction known as the Pig-Faced Man. And weirdly enough, there was apparently another performer with the same deformity touring the same circuit as the Three-Eyed Man. And his name was William Derricks, not Xerix.
Is this real? Is this all real?
That's why I'm telling you, like, this document was like a compilation of quasi-history, probably some myths, some lore, some legend.
I can't believe it.
I tried to find this one-armed boxer. I tried to find him. I tried to type in just like one-armed boxer in general, circus, Barnum Bailey. Nothing came up about a one-armed boxer. And that was
a Three-Eyed Man now.
I guess his name was William Derricks.
Well, what about the one-armed boxer? Who's that now?
His name was Theodore Miller.
So what? This was the guy that like contacted William Derricks to be in the
Yes.
circus?
Mhm.
Okay, and then
William Dirks was already there.
oh, jeez.
But he had the same facial deformity.
I feel like that's such bullshit. This guy's face. This is pure lies.
There's got to be some fact to it. And I'm really sad that we didn't get to go to the Historical Society to like look up these things. I tried. They're literally only opened once a month.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't. But I'm assuming that they get these questions all the time. And I'm assuming they don't know who he is either, because somebody else had to have gone there. I'm sure they would have posted it on Reddit or
Yeah, because there's been many people that have ghost hunted Holland Road and looked into the history and all that stuff.
This document is probably the root of the urban legend. I want to know what the family's real name was, because if this document is factual, maybe the names were just changed.
You mean like William, Elijah, Betsy, all those names?
Yes, I'm saying the Derricks family maybe was changed. Like maybe their name was something else and he just changed it for privacy reasons.
No,
I don't know him.
Around here? There's no Derricks around here.
Funny thing, I asked my mom about this and she said that she knows some Crabtrees. Like she went to high school with some Crabtrees.
So maybe it was, I don't know.
Maybe they are related somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is a wild document, and I'm here for the ride of it.
Yeah. I think it's from the 1800s now, right? That this is all
been compiled? Or
yeah. Like the started.
So the story wasn't written in the 1800s. It said it was written in the 80s. Like the compilation by MC.
Okay, but the
story begins in the 1800s.
When the Angola Horror, okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Angola's been around a long time too, so someone knows something.
Somebody knows something. By the late 1850s, William returned to Angola after learning his father had died. He married his first cousin, Mildred Crabtree. The couple had a son, William Jr. Rumors claim that there may have been twin daughters, though there is no official documentation confirming it. William became increasingly reclusive. He raised hogs on the property, learned how to butcher them himself. He worked at the nearby Ed Ball sanitation dump across the street from his house. He spent his days directing trucks, processing scrap, and sorting waste. And according to locals, he wore a hood while working to conceal his face. People claimed pig heads were mounted on spikes around the property to scare away trespassers. Now, whether this part is true or not, who knows? The imagery is absolutely horrifying, and it persists.
Yep. Yeah. I think that's just kind of so wild. Like, I believe somebody would be nuts enough to do that.
Oh,
like,
yeah, for sure. Especially around here.
But it's so weird. Like, it's just very, very, very out there. To even think that somebody, not that they wouldn't be capable, but that they physically actually would do it. Just to deter trespassers.
I believe that there are definitely people around our neck of the woods that would do something like this, even modern day.
Yeah. I don't know, back in like the day, like, they used to take decapitated heads of their enemies and post them outside their castles and stuff to deter Holocaust sites. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, pig head's a pig head. It's not a human head, thank God, but, you know.
There's a legend of that, too. So the absolute only thing I could confirm is that Ed Ball Sanitation was on Holland Road.
Okay.
And it was... Also don't know exactly what his address was. And yes, I say was because it is no longer residing there.
Yeah, there's not much on Holland Road. There's a few
houses.
There's houses, yes, but there's not much.
No.
I mean, it's a very long road with, like, not a lot of houses.
Maybe, like, 4. There's, like, 3 of them bunched at the end, and then there's one in the very middle of it.
And then there's, like, one at the beginning.
Yeah.
So, depending on which way you're going. But, yeah, there's really not much on it besides the 2 train trestle bridges and then a couple of scattered houses. But it's mostly woods. And there is like a construction driveway on the one side that you can go up and stuff, but
so
it's really not.
What I believe about that driveway that you're referring to, I believe that was the location of the dump.
Probably, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the one thing my mother did recall is that when she was a kid, it used to be like dirt tracks for kids to ride, like whatever, 4-wheelers, 3-wheelers, the 80s, probably 3-wheeler. Along this track, she did have stories about when they would go down Pigman Road and they would party allegedly where his
House
home was.
or shed,
Yeah.
whatever.
And, every little teenage group has little like, oh my God, did you see that type shit? But she didn't have anything else to tell me. I'm like, what were you tripping on shrooms at the time? Like you got nothing for me? Sounds like my mother. If this story is fake and this man wrote this story, why was he making everybody incest?
Yeah, I don't know. Just to add a little sugar to the fucking
What?
pot. Yeah. He did. He's like, shoot, incest. First goes, shoot.
If it's true though, I mean, it would give some credence because people in Angola are straight.
Yeah, I don't know. We're in Angola. We are very strange, so no listen to us. But no, Irish strange, but not that strange. I mean, there's strange people everywhere you go. I feel like we're the least strange out of some of the places around here. I don't know.
I always believed it was something in the water. I drink purified, so I don't know. Maybe I didn't get the strange.
I don't know. It's first cousins though. Come on, you could have layers like, or
this story gets even crazier. Then came 1973. A utility worker named Terrace Thompson was reportedly surveying the land along Holland Road. Witnesses allegedly saw him going door to door. And according to the legend, the last house he had visited was William Derrick's property. Then he vanished. Police immediately became suspicious of William. Maybe because the town's long hatred towards him, or maybe because the disappearance genuinely pointed him towards his property. Either way, authorities raided the home, and what they found inside was horrifying. The house was reportedly filled floor to ceiling with garbage. Loose trash, pig entrails and carcasses, rotting trash, feces, paper stacked everywhere. There were barely any pathways for authorities to walk around. They had no running water, no electricity. The structure itself was decaying around them. And sitting alone in the middle of that environment was William Derrick Jr. But William Sr. was nowhere to be found. Police immediately contacted Erie County Child Protective Services. The home was classified as dangerous and uninhabitable. William Jr. was going to be removed from the property, but according to the legend, that never happened. On October 31st, 1973, Halloween night, William Sr. fled into the woods with his son, and hours later, the house burned to the ground.
how did the house burn if there was no one there? Oh, was there like a mob?
No.
Oh,
It's alleged that William burned the house down himself.
but if he wasn't there, you said hours later it burned down,
He came down, got his son, burned the house down.
and then
Yeah.
it was, oh wow.
Yeah. It's believed that he did, but the amount of trash that was in there, I'm sure it didn't take much.
Went up
to
in
light
flames.
Yeah.
If that's what happened. Pig carcasses and entrails just chilling in your house all over.
I mean,
You know how that would have smelled?
I'm sure he didn't care.
Oh my,
He already had garbage everywhere. What difference would it make if he brought pig entrails in there? He was a butcher.
yeah. Ugh.
I'm sure it smelled rancid to begin with.
Yeah.
And this poor baby, he didn't ask for none of this.
Poor little incest William. Poor little baby.
Still, okay, he
Still closed up, looking around. What's happening?
did not ask for this life. He did not ask his mother and father to be incest. He did not ask to be born into this
Honey.
disturbing place. I don't know. I feel bad for the poor man, poor little baby.
Well, he didn't. I mean, he got taken out of there. His dad came and got him. Well, his dad came and took him and ran away,
Yeah,
burned the house down.
allegedly.
They might still be
Well, we'll get into that.
running around.
After the flames were extinguished, investigators searched the remains. But because the home had been packed so full with trash, the fire burned almost everything completely away. No bodies were found in the rubble. Only a small private family graveyard nearby remained intact, containing the graves of Loring, Mildred, and William's mother. But William Sr. and William Jr., gone, completely missing. And while searching the woods, investigators allegedly discovered strange piles of trash scattered throughout the forest. Some burned, some carefully organized, almost like someone was continuing their day job of sorting trash. Keep that sorted trash in the forefront of your brain.
Okay. All right. Why would this, like, you die and this, like, what you want to go do is start get some trash? Yeah, no thanks.
I mean, there's no record of anything here. Like, none at all.
No?
No family, no missing boy, no kidnapped son, no nothing.
Yeah, no. And I mean, even just the structure itself, I feel like we've driven through there. It's burnt down.
I know
I know that finds anything, but
she said that they used to party on, like, the foundational stone where the house once stood.
we gotta go in there. We gotta go in.
I'm scared. Not of ghosties. Not scared of that. I'm scared of getting shot.
Well, we'd be good. No one's gonna.
You're not gonna get shot. There's just no trespassing, no hunters. Literally,
We're not hunters. We're just partying.
it's literally like every 200 feet, there's a sign on a tree that says no trespassing.
Nah, we'll be right. There. I want to check it out. I don't see why. We just park far away and walk.
So there's a utility road that cuts through there, like where the big electrical poles are that hook all the lines.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at like an overhead map.
You were like, how are we going to sneak in here?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing. I was like, we could like walk down there, leave our cars
Like way far away.
Yeah, maybe our restaurant across.
We'll be shut off. Even better.
Yeah.
Even better. But we take us up at the end of the
We'll
road.
be walking a long time.
No, we got to get dropped off right in front, and then they'll just keep going, and then
We'll do it.
yeah, we'll do it.
We'll do it.
We'll do it. We're not chickens.
You are a chicken.
We're not chickens.
So Pigman Road was like our first introduction to anything paranormal. It was like the first place we went to get our cheap thrills. And Miss Leah here, Miss Alliance there.
But listen, no, in my defense, you guys were playing it up as you do, and you were fucking like, ooh, what's that? And like just like trying to get a rise out of me. Wait, you did.
You rose to the occasion because, bro, I swear to God, I have scars from you digging your nails so deep into my arm.
But you didn't stop. You kept doing it, so
We're trying to add to the fun.
listen. You know how I am, okay? I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna be scared about it.
I love that about you. Like I said, keep those little sorted trash piles in the forefront of your brain. Nice. I'm just reminding you.
Forefront.
Okay. 5 years later, in 1978, another nearby home caught fire while the family was away on vacation. And when they returned, they discovered items from inside their burned home laid out in neat, organized piles near the edge of the woods, which is deeply unsettling no matter how you explain it.
Is this documented?
No, April, I've been telling you this.
No. Okay. All right. I just get nervous. I'm like,
You like reward, please. I mean,
that's weird.
I'm sure a family existed. I'm sure a family was the town's pariah. I'm just sure of that.
Yeah.
But what their name was, what actually happened, did the house burn to the ground? Did CPS actually get involved? Now, I researched these things,
Legends are based on something like
but I am not contacting local authorities to like get from file and all that. Like, I'm not going that deep.
No.
I go deep in my own little personal rabbit holes, but I'm not contacting no popo. So, did William burn their house down?
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, why else did they find their trash sorted and
and they don't want to find any like evidence. Like I would have burned it down, and then hopefully maybe they would have thought like, oh, they died in the fire. We'll just leave them alone. They're gone. See you later.
Yeah.
Type of thing. But they didn't find any bodies.
No.
So besides the pig carcasses everywhere.
Yeah.
Island to the ceiling, apparently.
I definitely believe that he burned his own family home down. For sure. He was like, if I can't have my creepy, crazy son, like, you can't have him either.
I don't know.
He hated people. It's very clear he hated people.
And they hated him.
I was going to say he had every right to hate people because of the way he was treated continuously, especially for something he could not control. He was born with a disability.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he couldn't control that. Why are you hating on him still?
Yeah, and he gets poked and poked and poked and poked and poked, and yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
I mean, if they want to harbor some type of weird hatred for him because he married his first cousin, it's like, you have isolated this man so much. How else was he going to meet a lady?
Oh, that is so valid, though. That is so valid, though. I mean, what else?
He's not gonna go to the local Jubilee and, you know.
Hey, not William. With his, I'm Schmilliam, I'm Squilliam.
I feel bad. I do. Because if all of this happened, even in this story,
I do feel so bad too. And at that point, like, if he was gonna take his son, I would have too.
Yeah.
I would have too. I'd be like, you're not taking my son. I'm at wilderness. I'll burn this whole house down and we're out of here.
I think he needed help. Literally, I mean, like, hoarding is I think it can be considered a severe mental disability.
Mm-hmm.
And
agreed.
That obviously is a testament to what he had gone through, like, in his childhood and the way he was treated throughout his life. So obviously he's going to hate everybody. Like, he needed help, and maybe he deserved help, and he didn't hurt anyone.
No, but like you said, the isolation and stuff, that can really cause people to have severe mental illness. And isolation in itself, totally. All the other crap that they put him through.
Yeah, but it is crazy. He didn't murder anyone. He didn't hurt anyone. He even minded his own business. Did it? He had a job. Like, yeah, what? Why you? Why are they hating on him so much?
People are they're just mean to anyone that's different.
No.
People usually are.
Yeah. Well, with the Derrick's family gone, the legend truly began. Pigman Road became a rite of passage for locals. Teenagers would pile into cars late at night and drive down Holland Road looking for something paranormal. Stories spread for generations. One of the most common legends describe an old, dark pickup truck appearing behind drivers late at night, usually with no headlights on. People say it tailgates them aggressively down the narrow road and suddenly disappears at the end. Supposedly the same truck that William Derrick drove. And then there's the bridge ritual. You park your car in the middle of the single-lane bridge, turn off your engine, turn off the headlights, and honk 3 times. Some people claim that they hear muffled screaming afterwards. Others say they find handprints on their cars. And then there are the woods. People who venture near where the Derrick's property once stood often report feeling watched. Sometimes describe seeing a figure holding an axe or a meat cleaver. Now, normally, I take ghost stories with a massive grain of salt, but the next story came from a close friend of mine named Will. And whether paranormal or not, it's creepy as hell. Will had heard of the place before and had been there, but nothing happened. This time was a different story. One night, Will, his wife, his brother, and his wife's friend decided to drive down Pigman Road. The conversation started casually, sharing the local legend, laughing nervously. Typical dumb late-night horror story energy. It's a windy, eerie night. They stopped at the first bridge, turned off the car, and waited. Nothing happened. So they started driving again. And just outside the tunnel, before a sharp turn, Will suddenly saw something cross directly in front of the vehicle. A solid black mass, moving unnaturally fast. Then disappearing into the woods. He didn't say anything at first, figuring his eyes were playing tricks on him, until his brother suddenly asked, "Did anyone else see that?" At this point, they decided they were done. They turned around to leave, but on the drive back, this is awful. They spotted something in the middle of the road that absolutely had not been there the first time they went down. The mutilated remains of an animal. Not roadkill, not natural, torn apart beyond recognition. And apparently that was enough for everybody in the car. They sped out of there immediately and never looked back.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh my God.
What gets you more?
It wasn't a deer like that crossed in front of them?
He didn't say specifically what kind of animal it was because it was mutilated beyond recognition. Like they literally...
No, the black shadow. The black mass that ran in front of them. You don't think it was like a deer that they just kind of seen out of the corner?
The way he described it, it seemed like it was so close to the front of their car that he would be able to tell what it was.
Oh, but
like if it was
it couldn't. It was so fast.
Yes.
Okay. Because you could see it. Deer aren't fast. They're not cheetahs.
He described it more as like a humanoid black mass shape.
Wow.
Dart across the road. Could that have been a person? I don't know.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And then this animal was just like mutilated. He didn't even know what it was because it was so mutilated. Wow.
Yeah. What kills me though is like, so they went down the road, they went through the bridge, they obviously turned around after the second bridge, and we're like drove back and then found it in the middle of the road.
Okay.
Like their second time back.
Did they hear anything?
He didn't say that they heard anything.
We gotta ask him.
Yeah.
Like, did you hear that? Because if it was like that bad, you could, unless it was like immediately like killed in some like shape or form.
Well, or it was dead already in the woods and some dragged it out into the middle of the road.
Oh, that gives me the willies. That's rough.
If anything, I think that's probably the most likely scenario.
Like a bear?
Here.
Bears, we don't.
Something more human. I mean, coyotes, I guess, could probably be capable of doing that.
Coyotes could. We do have coyotes.
But how could they put it in the road that fast?
Maybe they were trying to drag it, seeing them coming, was like, shit, and then took off.
Possibilities are endless.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Either way, that was his story. I haven't asked. I obviously put out there if anybody had stories that they wanted to share. I'm sure we'll get boatloads of them now because they're like, oh,
Pigman Road.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys do have a story though, we still want to put it in our shadow sessions. So go to our bio and submit your stories, please.
Not only do we want to read them on the show, but I want to read them personally.
Well, yeah, and we have to know.
I do.
I will say that I have personally, when I'm bored, just driven down Holland Road because it's just a nice little drive.
I do it too.
They just remodeled. They didn't remodel it. They fixed it. They put all new bolts in because it was actually starting to like come down. Like it was very unsafe to drive through there. That was closed off. They closed the whole road off for quite a while. And we had to like take a detour to get around. So they did all that. They fixed it up. This also was shown on an episode of Hometown Horrors. So you guys can go and look that up too. It was actually a really good episode. It was pretty informative. They did go around and actually interview local people that live around here and got their stories for it. And they did do a little bit of research into it as well.
Do I happen to mention the story that I told?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, but they mostly got just stories of
like personal experience.
They interviewed. Yeah, there was an interview in there of a boy that lives on I think he lives on the Holland Road.
Oh, I have to watch this episode now.
Yeah, and he told his little story, and it was kind of cool too. So I don't remember it in detail, but it was nice to hear people's stories about where you live because, you don't see that often. There's not, everywhere you live does not have like an episode of a TV show made about it. So it's super interesting.
I'm actually surprised there isn't more. But
yeah,
when you type in like Pigman Road into YouTube or Google or whatever, I do a lot of my watching on YouTube, but so much stuff comes up.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that we are not the only Pigman Road. There are multiple others, but ours has the most credence to it because it has the true history of what happened with the Angola Horror. All the other ones are just myth. Like there's not like real ghost stories behind it.
Yep. Cool.
Another thing that I found on YouTube though, and I tried really hard to find these guys, but it looked like their short film was filmed back in the early 2000s, and they did like a very Saw-esque short film on Pigman Road.
Oh, don't tell me that.
Why?
Because I Saw is like
Oh, it's the one film.
the one
do.
I cannot. I can fucking not. All caps. And fucking not watch that shit.
I don't know what they showed in it because they only had like a couple trailers, a teaser, and like short clips from it. And they used like the Saw score.
That's like the don't take it in my house, dude. I mean, something's gonna happen. Stop.
Anyway, it's obviously a very enduring mystery and legend that
Always will be, because the Angola Horror, it's written in stone, baby. It's never going anywhere. So it's just gonna grow and grow. The legends and the myths are just gonna grow and grow.
Mm-hmm. A small town like this leaves generations of folks who simply do not forget. Even when facts blur into folklore and when history mutates into legend. And maybe that's why Pigman Road refuses to die. Because underneath all the ghost stories and the urban legends, there's something genuinely sad buried there. Maybe William Derricks was a monster. Maybe he was just a deeply broken man created by a town that never let his family escape its past. Either way, Pigman Road still carries that legend. Long live Pigman.
Okay, guys, that was today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. Please stay tuned next week for part 3 of our local lore, and we will see you then. Bye.
Later.